Welcome back to the channel, you Kurd nerds. So I know a lot of y'all are well aware that I've been working on aeromedical reform. You know, a system in which pilots don't have to be afraid to seek out the care that they need to be healthy and fully realized human beings. It shouldn't be an unreasonable thought that pilots should be able to access healthcare without risking their entire career. So yesterday, I just got back from a lobbying meeting with Pilots Mental Health Campaign down in D.C. Now, Pilots Mental Health Campaign is, well, exactly what it sounds like. It is a group that is advocating for aeromedical reform so that pilots can have access to basic mental health care services without risking their entire career. Now, when I first got down there to DC, they had set up this fun dinner for us. I think we went to, the restaurant was called Farmers, Fishers, and Bakers. You know, they had set up a dinner for us, which was really nice. So shout out to them for really welcoming us. And it gave us all an opportunity to meet each other and talk about why we're there. Because it's kind of hard to lobby for change with strangers, right? So I really appreciate Pilots Mental Health Campaign putting on that event so that we could, well, get to know each other. And I talked to a number of pilots, and everyone had their own unique experience and story on why they were there advocating for reform, whether it be their significant other is a pilot and they're struggling through this system, whether it be they had family members that they lost due to their lack of ability to access healthcare, or whether it be an actual pilot, student pilot, recreational pilot, commercial airline pilot. They all had their own unique reasons and story for why they were there, but it all came down to the same main points. That it didn't matter how complicated the scenario was. It didn't matter if it was, I've been on the same medication since I've been 10 years old, or I'm in the HIMSS program for alcohol and substance abuse. Everyone was going to spend at least $5,000 in 18 months out of work. Now, if I was the sole breadwinner of my household and someone told me, yeah, you can go get the help you need. You can go get the healthcare services that you need to be a healthy individual, but you are going to spend a minimum of $5,000 and a year and a half out of work. I wouldn't do it. And according to a study from the University of North Dakota, a majority of pilots wouldn't either. And according to a study from the United States Air Force, over 70% of pilots would avoid healthcare given that option. But that's the option that we have right now, is that you are going to spend a year and a half with no income. Because let's be honest, being a pilot isn't a transferable skill. I can't go from flying an Airbus to managing a McDonald's or working at a bank in the finance department or anything. Flying an aircraft is a pretty specialized skill. It doesn't translate to other fields, all right? And with that being the case, many pilots, again, choose to avoid healthcare. So the next day after we met each other, talked to each other, figured out why we were all there, we had a lobbying meeting. And I just want to give a shout out to Congressman Sean Casten for being the representative that's supporting this movement. Without him, we wouldn't have had a meeting in DC. We wouldn't have been able to meet with all the representative staffers and whatnot that are on this schedule. It wouldn't have happened. So he's from Illinois. If you're in his district, shoot him a letter. Give his office a call. Tell him thank you for supporting Pilots Mental Health Campaign in this fight for aeromedical reform. And also write him a letter, write him an email, leave him a voicemail explaining why you support Pilots Mental Health Campaign, why you support aeromedical reform. Because sure, there was like 80 of us there fighting for aeromedical reform. The Pilots Pandemic podcast has over 14,000 signatures on a petition fighting for aeromedical reform. But the more people, the more individuals with their personal stories and experience that are behind this, the realer it is, the more realistic that this reform truly is. All right. So again, shout out to Sean Casten, for lack of a better term, being our wingman in this fight for aeromedical reform. Okay. So we didn't have any meetings with any actual representatives, at least my group didn't. We ended up meeting with the staffers, and the staffers, at the end of the day, they are the representative of the representative. So we ended up meeting with Layla, Carter, Brayden, and Melvin. And these staffers asked follow-up questions. They were really interested in why we wanted aeromedical reform, what the current system was, and why it wasn't working for pilots in large. And at the end of all of these meetings, at least the ones that I was a part of, we all came to pretty much the same conclusion, that this shouldn't be a bipartisan thing. It seems like basic, duh kind of governance, and that we do need aeromedical reform. We need a system in which pilots feel comfortable going to get the healthcare that they need, solving this level of distrust between pilots and the FAA, solving the lack of transparency, clearing up the backlog of 26,000 medical applications. That's kind of what it all came down to, that everyone agreed that we need change. All right, so where do we go from here? Well, Pilots Mental Health Campaign, obviously they need support. Pilots Mental Health Campaign, it's a large group that's trying to do big things, and obviously that's not free. So if you can, go ahead to their website, pilotsmentalhealthcampaign.org or pmhc.org, and donate if you can. If you can't donate, make a video talking about them. Share this video. Put comments down below. Get people noticing that aeromedical reform is possible with your support. Now, what else you need to do? Contact your elected official. I know they're getting plenty of calls right now about some social media platforms that are trying to get shut down. All right, but call them, contact them, explain to them why you think we need aeromedical reform. Even if you're not a pilot, everybody's got to get on an airplane right now. And according to that study from the University of North Dakota, every time you get on an airplane, there's a 50-50 shot that one of those pilots up there is suffering from symptoms in which they need healthcare. You really want to go get on that plane? We need a system in which that gets down to zero. Pilots need to be able to access healthcare without risking everything. So go show your support to Pilots Mental Health Campaign and contact your elected official and let them know that we need this reform.